Restoring the balance of nature can involve controlling the spread of invasive species, but sometimes we also need to reintroduce species that we drove to extinction. Once upon a time, there were eagles in Ireland. Just over 100 years ago, we killed off the last of them, but now we've been bringing them back again. I've come again to Killarney National Park to see the ridge where the last white-tailed sea eagles lived. It's still called the Eagle's Rock. Dr Alan Mee has been leading the eagle reintroduction project.
The process then of bringing them back in, how did you do that? How did you manage to reintroduce them?
We had, collaborators, some very fantastic people in Norway, around the Trondheim area in Norway, who were out there checking nests, because part of the licensing we could only take chicks from nests that had 2 chicks. So we left the pair in Norway with 1. We weren't taking all their chicks away to Ireland, so they still had a chick to rear. These are chicks that are size of a small turkey. They're quite big already. They're maybe 6, 8 to 10 weeks old, not that far off flying. And then we kept them in flight pens here. So they were really kind of homed in on the Irish environment, or Killarney environment here before they were released.
And when you brought the birds here, you just kind of bring them here and release them then?
Yeah, we found a location that was pretty quiet, so we wanted no human contact, even from the likes of myself, because we want them as wild as possible, Although the young birds, when we released them, we did feed them for a couple of months. We provided food because, in the wild, their parents would be doing the same for maybe a couple of months after they leave the nest. So to give them every possible chance of survival, because like most birds, their highest mortality is in their first year. Ultimately, we want these birds to survive to breed in Ireland.
Are they established now in different parts of Ireland?
Yeah, so we have about 10 pairs breeding now in Ireland. It's 5 pairs breeding in Kerry, 1 in West Cork, 1 pair in Clare, and a couple of pairs in Galway.
Fantastic. And these are huge birds, right?
Yeah, they're massive. They're all wings, and they're often described as a flying barn door.
A flying barn door.
I really wanted to actually see the white-tailed eagles, but I didn't have any luck in Killarney. So I went down to Glengarriff Island in Bantry Bay, where Alan suggested I might have more luck. Kevin, the boatman, sees them daily, and he was confident he could find them. This whole part of West Cork is so beautiful, and Glengarriff Island, near Glengarriff, is a wonderfully wild and scenic location. Kevin knows the eagles well, but they weren't on their nest. Time was running out, and I still hadn't seen them. With the last of the daylight, Kevin suggested we try the other side of the island, where he had an inkling they might be.
Okay, you see the 2 of them right on the branch, and they're camouflaged beautifully. They fit in with the tree and the branch. They're sitting there one over the other. They're only after landing now, so there's no danger of them flying, because they're ready to roost for the night. So they'll stay on that tree tonight, and if not there, just in the other trees over here. But they're taking no notice of us. You can see them. Yeah. And they're beautiful.
This is just incredible. We've got to see the white-tailed sea eagles. This has seriously made my day.
And you see the eagles out here all the time?
See the eagles every day, almost every day. When they have chicks, when they start in March and April, when they're hatching, and if the chick lived, they would be there all the time. At least one of them would be there all the time. But unfortunately, down through the years, we had accidents every year. Something happened, mostly the weather.
A chick that was born here in 2016 is doing well. And while he had to leave his parents' territory, he hasn't ventured too far away.
So Eddie, he's called Eddie the Eagle, and he is down at the moment, down near Sneem, down near Caherdaniel, and he's doing grand.
So Eddie is a white-tailed eagle chick that was born here in Glengarriff Island.
No, in Glengarriff Island.
And you still know where he is? You keep an eye on him?
Still know him. He's tagged. They all have a tag on their wings, so they're all numbered.
Okay.
So there's the male and the female are here, and they have stayed here, and they're really happy here because this particular area, fish is the main diet of the eagles. That's why they're so happy here, that everything is there for them.
Yeah.
So.
And are you delighted that they're here?
Oh, it's nearly part of my life now, because every day when I come out here with people, I tell them about the eagles, and if they're there, it's fantastic. But if they're not there, they'll be there the next day.
It's wonderful to see the enthusiasm of people around the country who are participating in projects to help restore the balance of nature. But I still wanted to understand the bigger picture of how ecosystems are struggling to adapt to the pressures of human activity. Professor Frances Lucy is Head of Environmental Science at the Sligo Institute of Technology. She's leading an environmental protection agency project focused on the intervention, eradication and control of invasive alien species.
Hello! This is lovely.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, thanks for coming to meet me.
Very welcome.
Brilliant. This is Lough Gillen in Hazelwood.
It is, yeah.
We often tend to think of nature being better left alone. Maybe that's not the case.
It's funny because it's not actually totally the case. Ireland has changed many times over the last 10,000 years since the end of the last ice age. And in a way, we've always been involved in the balance of nature. It's just that in the 21st century, a lot of our activities have become more intensive. You know, our farming, our industry, that puts pressures on ecosystems because of man's direct impacts, the food we need, the waste we produce, and all of this. We're part of nature, and we're actually the ones that are responsible to manage it. So we can't just say, leave it alone. Leave it alone, let it do its own thing, because our biodiversity and our natural systems are under a lot of pressure.
Do you think that there is much hope for restoring the balance in nature?
I do. I would always be hopeful, because if we give nature a chance to restore itself and we work to help it in that restoration, whether it's a case of putting back the natural river, the sinuosity in a river channel from a channel that's been straightened, or whether it's a case of replanting an oak woodland. Of course, it's not going to be 100% natural, and it will need some intervention from us, but it can help to develop a natural system where you have the highest opportunity for diversity.
Wherever we are in the country, there are still pockets of wonderful special habitats.
These woods are an incredible tapestry of life. There's species here that have been living together in harmony for millennia. And just like so many of our wonderful wild habitats, it's high time we start to appreciate and protect them, and to restore the damage that we've unleashed, and give nature the chance to flourish again.